If you're eligible for right to buy, you can purchase your council housing association home at a discounted price. It's going to be based on the type of property, the value of the property, where you live, and how long you've been a public sector tenant. You can purchase your right to buy property. The information that I'm giving is for guidance only, so make sure you speak to your local council. Ask questions, verify the figures, but understand the scheme because it's a really good scheme and it can help you and your family start to build generational wealth. Here's some more information on how it works. Houses, 35% discount after 3 to 5 years as a public sector tenant. It increases by 1% per year after 5 years. There's a cap on the regional maximum. That's for houses. For flats, it's a 50% discount after 3 to 5 years, and it increases by 2% per year after 5 years. Again, there is a cap depending on your region. If you're buying jointly, this is good news. If you're buying jointly, use the longest tenancy among the applicants. So if you and your husband have been in that tenancy agreement for a different amount of time, they're going to use the longest one. But again, make sure you contact your council, ask the questions that you can get the specific answers to your specific needs. The right to buy discount is an amazing gift from the government and should be utilized where appropriate. If you've considered buying your council right to buy property or your right to acquire, if you've considered exercising that right, but you weren't sure on what you need to do or how to do it, make sure you contact me or a licensed mortgage broker who can walk you through the process. Each council is a little bit different, so you will find when you speak to me or speak to another mortgage broker, they will ask you to get some information from your local council. So you want to do that. You want to start the process. Don't delay. Don't rule yourself out because the figures that you could be getting are quite astronomical. So these are correct at the time of this video. So in London, the maximum discount is 16,000. There are exceptions for Dagenham. So some areas, they know that the house prices and the economic makeup is a little bit different. So they do have exceptions. So in the Southeast, it's 38,000. In the Southwest, it's 30,000, and so on and so on and so on. But the bottom line is this: you won't get any discount if you do nothing. Make sure that you look into your council right to buy or council right to acquire. Make sure you speak to a mortgage broker and make sure you ask questions. One of the biggest problems that we have in society at the moment is a lack of financial literacy. And in my view, it's not because the information is not available. I think there's too much information available, but quite often people will rely on TikTok or social media to get their full advice. It's great to get concepts from these platforms. Social media is amazing for that. But when you have that information, make sure you speak to a licensed professional. Another one of my pet peeves is people that will speak to a professional, but then they're speaking to their barber or the lady at the salon, and they're challenging the professional based on what someone that is not licensed is saying. We as mortgage brokers have a lot of regulation that we have to follow, and most mortgage brokers are here to do a great job for you and your family, to give you the best products and services that are available based on your circumstances. So the advice that I'm giving is not financial, it's not legal advice, and I'm not telling you that there's a one size fits all. You should always consult a professional who knows your personal circumstances. You should always be open and honest with that broker, and you should never look to do anything that would violate the terms or conditions of your mortgage. Because as they always say in the ads, your home could be repossessed if you don't keep up your payments. And as someone that worked in that area of finance for over a decade, it's not a great thing. Quite often people end up in that situation because they didn't listen to their mortgage broker, or because they were given bad advice. But 9 times out of 10, they were given good advice, but thought they knew better, or their barber knew better, or their gardener knew better. The advice that we give you is to move you forward. Being a mortgage broker is a referral business. So the better job I do for you, the more business I'll get. So the information that I give you is to make sure that you're happy, to make sure that you feel supported. I'll quickly cover off the mortgage process again. You're going to get an agreement in principle. The counsel or the seller, if you're not doing a counsel right to buy, is going to need an agreement in principle. That's just saying that the bank would lend in a certain amount based on your profile without verifying anything. Once you find the property, you will negotiate a price. You'll get an offer agreed. You'll then go back to your broker, who will complete a full mortgage application. At that point, the bank will do a valuation. A valuation, not a survey. Check the link for videos that explain the difference. Once the valuation has come in, the underwriting on the application can be done. This is when the lender will request 3 months bank statements, pay slips, ID, and various other things depending on your profile. Once the underwriting has been done, they will issue a full mortgage offer. This mortgage offer is more of a binding agreement. It usually has a date on it that it expires. It's usually about 6 months, but don't get stressed out. If it does expire, or as it approaches its expiration date, a good mortgage broker will contact the lender and get it extended. Now, when it's extended, it will be based on the rates that are available at the time of the extension, which means you may end up with a higher rate or a lower rate, because 6 months down the line, the market will have changed quite a bit. But you get that mortgage offer. Once you have the mortgage offer, the rest of the process is pretty much between your solicitor and the seller's solicitor or the counsel solicitor. Thanks for watching, and make sure that you like, subscribe, and share.